Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hi. Guys, I've been having a very rough day. My show's supposed to have started since, but
Let's begin now.
I can't. I don't know. I'm not happy, to be honest, and it looks like we're gonna have to make it really short. Like, I'm not happy, to be honest. I'm not happy because the network decided to mess me up today, and I don't know. I've been having a very rough time this evening. We're supposed to have an interview, and well, let's see what we can get out of the way today. Thanks, guys, for joining. This is
not a drill.
Learn and relearn with Eve. I've been having a very long day. See, my eyes are heavy. I'm not happy. I'm really not happy. But we move. I am stressed. I'm very stressed. I've been trying to,
Is that all you got?
how'll I put it? I've been trying to get my network working. I'm sad, to be honest. I'm very sad. I'm fine, guys. Thank you. So we're supposed to have a guest, and thank God he's here. I've been having a very stressful day. Thank you guys for checking out. I'm not happy, to be honest. I've been pushing myself back and forth, but let's just get the show on the road. My guest is here, so I will call him up and hopefully we can, I'm not happy, guys. I'm really not, to be honest. I am not happy at all. And I'm hoping that, we can actually get past this.
Oh, for sure.
See what I'm saying? Okay. Finally. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Nigerian network decided to mess me up. I'm stressed.
Okay.
I've been very, but thank you so much for coming. Guys, I'm introducing, this is Mr. Tunji Andrews. He is a financial analyst, and also he has a show on Nigeria Info 99.3 every weekday from 6:45 to 7 a.m. in the morning. So today we're going to just dig right into it, and so we can get over it because time is already gone. Okay. Today's topic, as you can see, is financial investment for low-income earners, and Mr. Tunji Andrews is going to be helping us identify some of the questions that we have and we've been asking, because a lot of us feel like when we hear investments, the first thing we think about is a lot of money. So Mr. Tunji Andrews, please can we start right ahead? For clear understanding, for those who don't understand what financial investment is all about, can you please just a little explanation and one or two benefits that come with financial investment?
Hi everybody, thanks for joining. Financial investments are basically, whether it's financial or whatever, it's around improving the state of a particular asset. So for instance, if you invest in yourself, that means you're either trying to go to school, or you're trying to learn a skill, or you're trying to just improve one particular area of your life. And when you talk about financial investment, it's about increasing the stock of the money that you have, or the money that you've been saving together and been putting together. So basically, it's just increasing the stock, basically.
Okay, so like in Nigeria, when people hear investments, most people run because of fear of getting scammed or getting cheated out of their hard work. So do they really work, especially here in Nigeria?
Yes, it does. I mean, there are a lot of people who are who've been investing, made a lot of money from their investments in Nigeria from several parts of the economy,
Mm-hmm.
from the capital market, from the real sector, from all kinds of investments. Really, as long as it has a good rate of return, it has made money
Yeah.
for a lot of people. Um, just even the simple investing in yourself and it's helping you get a better job
Mm-hmm.
is a small type of investment. But generally, at the end of the day, it's working. Yes, and I know a lot of people who it's done well for.
So does a person have to have like so much money? When I say so much money, because like in Nigeria now, when people hear investments, the first thing they're thinking of is, oh, I must have at least the minimum is 1 million naira. So does the person have to have like that huge sum before he or she can actually, get involved in any kind of investment?
Not really. No. You can start from wherever you are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can start there are investment options that you can go into it as little as 1,000 naira. But I want to. It also helps to be realistic about where we are as Nigerians.
Yeah.
Um, Nigeria doesn't have a social safety net. So it's not like if you become homeless because you invested money, there is a shelter where you can go to stay. It's also not like if you what's the word now? If you can't afford to feed, there are soup kitchens everywhere that you can go and get food to eat. Not that it is
Mm-hmm.
in every country, but there are absolutely no social safety nets in Nigeria, which doesn't help in any way. So what I always tell, especially young people when they're talking about investment, is that the first line of investment is that for you to be able to, for, the first line of investment really is that you have to save enough money to be able to invest, whether it is
Mm-hmm.
um, the 1,000 naira, whether it is the 5 million naira, you have to save it and put it aside.
Okay.
And the thing about putting money aside, especially in Nigeria, is that if you do not have um, enough, you eventually
Mm-hmm.
put your hand into your savings. So I saw somebody today, or was it yesterday? The person was saying something like, no matter how much you earn, you can save. You can save irrespective of where you are. You can save, and I don't disagree, but I just also believe
Okay.
that we have to be realistic about Nigeria and Nigerians. Most of the people
Yeah.
who say these things are usually either living at home with their parents and don't have to
Mm-hmm.
pay any bills whatsoever.
Yeah.
But if you live on your own, for instance, and you have to pay rent, and you know that rent in Nigeria you pay 12 months ahead, it's a yearly rent. It's not like you're going to pay um, monthly. Although we have a
Mm-hmm.
few companies who started to make that possible, but they're expensive. So you can't pay monthly for your rent. You have to pay annually. Every single day you have to come out of pocket to pay for transportation. Every single day you have to come out of pocket to pay for things like petrol. To if you have a generator in your house, data is pretty expensive. So there are quite a
Mm-hmm.
few things in Nigeria that make it very, very difficult for the average person to save. And what I usually tell people is the first line of um, investment is savings. But for Nigerians, the first line of investment is earning more. You need
Okay.
to you need to significantly look for new areas to be able to um, grow your income. You have to grow your income whatever you do. If you can get a side hustle, if you can get a side job, because if you don't have a side hustle, if you don't have money coming in regularly, you will continue to be hypertensive about your investments, and you always
Yeah.
be keeping your eyes on it, and every little issue that comes your way you'll be thinking about going to sort it out with the money you already have, because also not a lot of people have health insurance in Nigeria. So that means if
Yeah.
you're sick, you're going to have to come out of pocket to either buy either go to the hospital or, as most Nigerians do, self-medicate. Either ways, you're still going to have to come out of pocket. So, and
Yeah.
this is what usually creates the problems. This is what usually creates the problems for a lot of people. So, my thoughts are always earn more, then start budgeting,
Okay.
have a budget so that you can, know the differences between your needs and your wants, because usually that is some of the problems most of the time. When you're able to separate those things, and you'll be able to have a little money on the side, and then you can put that into investments. Without that,
Yeah.
I think it will be difficult for most Nigerians to invest. I think it will be difficult, if we're being honest.
Okay. Now, speaking of investments, are there any safe forms of investment?
Oh yes. I mean, every regulated investment in Nigeria is safe to an extent. It has its risks, but it is
Uh-huh.
safe to the extent which it is safe to the extent which you know. Excuse me. You know that the people in charge of your investments can't just disappear and run away with your money.
Yeah.
Um, so those are investments that are regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and I'm talking about things like equity, investment in equities, mutual funds. Um, you also have things like um, you have your fixed deposits, your fixed income instruments like
Uh-huh.
government bonds and the rest like that. You have some credit papers, credit notes, but there are some
Yeah.
unorthodox investment options which I would not advise that anybody puts their hand into. I'm not saying that they are fraudulent. Some are not, but they are just not regulated. So it creates a bit of a problem. But yes, you can invest in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. There are a few investment companies out there which you can put your money into via them to invest into things. Um, Without just off the top of my head, Stanbic IBTC is one of them. Investment One, United Capital, AfriInvest. I'm trying to see if I can remember any. FBN Quest. Those are some companies which you know that are regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and they have more to lose stealing your money. And I mean, how much really is the money that we are going to invest that will make such a company with billions and billions in their management, want to
Uh-huh.
steal your 100K or your 1 million naira? So you want to look at companies like that, and companies that have good track records.
Yeah.
Companies that have good track records that have been, because people do not realize that those investments are also tracked. If you go to the SEC website, you would see that the SEC shows you the company with the best performing mutual fund in Nigeria
Mhm.
over the last 12 months. It's there. So you can see it and know that this is the particular company that has been doing well in the last 12 months. So I can put my money into this particular company. And since they've been doing well, chances are they will still do well in the next 12 months, or they won't do as
Mhm.
badly as the rest. So you want to look at those things and help yourself make some good investment decisions. But there are people called investment advisors with every investment bank, and they can definitely help you make the right decisions also.
Okay, so the I know you mentioned some benefits, but if there are still some benefits, we'd like to know. And also, what are the challenges that come with investing for low income earners, especially? Like, take for example, somebody who earned less than 100,000 naira and wants to do some kind of investment. They're always scared that the little that they have might end up, going bad. So, what are those benefits and what are those challenges when it comes to investments?
Okay, so investors need to understand something. So my mom, I think when I was a kid, bought I think it was like 500 naira worth of Guinness
Mm-hmm.
at the time. Guinness Nigeria um, equities. She bought it when I
Mm-hmm.
was a baby, and I remember that when I was about 37, she was trying to, like, put a grand gesture, and she gave it to me, and I can't remember if it was worth, like, maybe 200,000 at the time. Now, she didn't really have to do anything. She just bought that amount of equities at the time. And she said it was like spare change. It wasn't like she needed to really do much. She just put some money in there. But because by laws of inflation and the fact that the company is also expanding,
Yeah.
it will also grow in size and capacity and value. So the shares you've also put aside will also grow in value. So over time, you will continue to make money um, from it. I also know somebody in 2004-5
Yeah.
who liquidated, I think, Guinness, Nigerian breweries, shares that his mom had bought for him. Also, this person
Oh
is like
wow.
in his 50s. His mom is still alive, by the way, or at least was still alive at the time. I don't know if she's still alive. I've not kept in touch with this person, but she had bought the shares for him at birth,
Oh
and
wow.
he was like from I think by liquidating all those shares, and I think he added a little bit of money on it. He was able to buy an 11 million naira car at the time. I'm not even joking. I read, um, it was an SUV, Hyundai. So the thing about, and the reason why I'm saying all of this is because investments are best on the long term. Except,
Yeah.
of course, you are skilled at investing and you know how to go in and exit from point to point. If you do not have that skill, you will lose your money because you do not know where to enter, you do not know where to come out from.
You're making investment sound like somebody's gambling or it's poker. It's crazy. Like
Well, it's not, but it has a similar principle with gambling. It's
right.
you taking a bet on a company. So you are buying this particular company in the hope that the company will grow. So I'm
Yeah.
buying shares into Bank XYZ in the hope that
Mm-hmm.
Bank XYZ is going to grow by another 50 million naira or $50 million. Because every time it grows, I get dividends, I get paid. The share value goes
Right.
up, I get more
Right.
value. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
betting that the company is going to grow and the company is going to get better. The other
Yeah.
one, the other kinds of investment are things like government securities or fixed income securities. You're either betting
Mm-hmm.
on the fact that a country, for instance, like Nigeria, that Nigeria will still be an entity in 12 months because that's the only reason
Yo.
why Nigeria will pay you back. If Nigeria, for some reason, disintegrates and becomes Niger and Ria, and they
Mm-hmm.
split into Niger and Ria, um, you don't get your money because there's no entity called Nigeria anymore to give you your money. So you're really betting on people to make proper returns for you and for your
Yeah.
company to grow. So yes, it's not betting in the actual sense of betting, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also like you taking a bet on a company. So and that's I think that's probably one of the ways people need to understand investments. You're not investing in thin air because a lot of people just believe, oh, I'll just give these people my money and in 30 days or in 160 days they'll give me money back. The money is taken to do something else. It just doesn't grow. You don't plant it in the ground and it grows. You take the money
Mm-hmm.
and you go and use it to do business. And from the business you use it to do, the profit on top of the business is what is now shared to everybody. It's not
Yeah.
like money just goes to somewhere and it stays in one locker room and somebody brings it out and gives you more. If anybody tells you that, they're trying to scam you. So it's about I have a business, for instance, and my business is Tunji and Sons, and I tell you invest 200,000 in Tunji and Sons. You are investing the 200,000 in Tunji and Sons because you believe that in 2 years, Tunji and Sons will grow from the 1 million naira company it is right now to
Mm-hmm.
10 million naira, a 10 million naira company. So your 200,000 that you've invested will now be worth 10 times in 2 years because the company has now grown tenfold. So it's you betting on the fact that the company can grow, really.
Right. Okay. So with little or like low salary, how can um somebody who earns that low, like I said, maybe less than 100,000, how can that person start to invest?
The first place is savings. As I said earlier, you need to put some money aside. You also need
Mm-hmm.
to um, train yourself with the discipline that you can see the money there and not touch it. Because that's
Right.
probably the most difficult part about investment. Um, you have to start saving somewhere. Find. I mean, almost all banks have it, where you can create a separate account under your normal account, where you can be putting money aside into. It doesn't have to be big money. One of the great things about putting little money aside is that if you're consistent, it will grow. It's just like the principle of the Kolo, the piggy bank.
Mm-hmm.
You just put in 10 naira, 500 naira, 10, 20 naira, 300 naira. You just keep putting it inside, and one day it becomes 1,000 naira over time,
Yeah.
and you don't really pay attention to it. So, you can just, and some people even have accounts where you can set it up in such a way that every payment you make from the account, it will put like 3% into another account for you. It's just a situation whereby you're just training yourself to keep some money aside. And when the money has grown to something significant, you can go to any of the investment houses and then start to invest. They will put you through on how to invest, but the major part is you. It's more you than the investment, because,
All right.
and that's why a lot of Nigerians look for Ponzi schemes. They're looking for things that will, automatically become 300 million tomorrow. Investment takes a lot of patience. So if you're going to
Yeah.
be patient, um, you have to train yourself to be patient. You have to know that you have 10,000 somewhere, and you're really hungry right now, and you're not
Yeah.
going to eat it. You know,
Mm.
um, somebody just brought a brand new pair of shoes, and it's really those shoes you've always wanted, but it's now on sale. Are you
Yeah.
going to ignore it, knowing that you have that 10,000 naira somewhere? That is really the big part about investing. Once you can overcome this part, everything else is easy. The people who the world calls stingy, people who the world calls stingy, are always they find it easy to invest, because it's for them, it's a way to even keep the money away from them completely.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the natural propensity not to want to spend money, and you
Mm-hmm.
are one of those people that if you have money you will want to spend it, then you have to train your financial muscle to know that you have money and not want to touch it, because that is the most important part.
Yeah. Okay. So is it possible, like, maybe the person wants to invest in something? Is it possible for this same person to have more than one investment plan, or the person should just do one and see how it works before getting involved in another one?
So I always advise that people start with mutual funds. So
Okay.
mutual funds are investment options where you put in money, um, not just you and a lot of people, but because it's a lot of people and it's a big pool. The
Mm-hmm.
company that gets the mutual fund is able to negotiate a good rate on return for all of you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the great thing about mutual funds, especially if you ask the investment house, is that they don't invest in one thing. They invest in a basket of things. So some they invest like maybe 30% in oil and gas, 20% in banking, 10% in real estate, 3%
Mm-hmm.
in SMEs. So it's like a basket of investments where you basically and the reason why I think it's a good place to start is that it also helps the individual understand how investment works. So one of the
Yeah.
greatest keys to investment is diversifying your portfolio. So if, for instance, like now that crude oil prices crashed over the last couple of months, if
Yeah.
all the investments were in crude oil, then you're done for. But if you had like 30% investments in crude oil, 20% investments in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
10% investment in banking, those sides were not really bad. They were not really doing too badly. They were still giving returns. So that return from that place will then cover up the losses you make in the place that doesn't really do well. So either ways, you still make a return. And that's the way I think everybody should look at their investment plan and look at it from the perspective of you have a number of options to invest your money in. Of course, if you have only 1,000 naira, it is difficult to do that. But as I would say, um, grow first, save first, earn enough income first, and then you can move into other things.
Okay, so what questions should a person ask before going into any form of investment? Like, what are the most important questions a person should ask before going to any form of investment?
What's the underlying asset? What's the underlying asset? Because, for instance, like MMM was they were saying it was give help and get help, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I give help to somebody, and the person gives another person gives me help, and I get
Yeah.
help. Um, the problem with that is that it is flawed from day one. It is bound to collapse. Why? Because there's no underlying asset. There's nothing you are selling and buying. There's nothing you're trading. You're not selling a service. You're not selling a commodity.
Yeah.
You are basing everything, the entire investment, on the good nature of people. And if there's
Mm-hmm.
anything we know about human beings, is that we are not inherently good. Um, if there's anything, we have a mind that is desperately wicked. So you will possibly put yourself into, and as people who put their money into MMM saw, they got themselves really burnt. So
Yeah.
you have to ask what the underlying asset is. What is this money going to be invested into? How is it going to be invested into that thing? And then the more serious one is it regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission? Now, a lot of people will look at me and say, yo, the Securities and Exchange Commission doesn't allow people, do some kind of investment, and I agree. The Securities and
Mm-hmm.
Exchange Commission is can be very restrictive in what regulated companies invest in.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, and I gave this example some time ago. If you put your money in a Nigerian bank, right? And
Yeah.
of course, I would have asked a lot of people, why don't you just put your money into the hands of anybody? But if you put your money into a Nigerian bank and the bank goes down, from the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Commission, you will get up to 500,000. You'll get repayment up to
Right.
500,000. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that is not enough if you have 1 million, for instance. If you have 10 billion, 500,000 doesn't help. But you get something back, especially for people who have 500,000 and less. Your money is covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you put your money in the hands of Mommy Celia Alajo and Mommy Celia gets wrong, then
Yeah.
you're not getting your money back. You're not getting your
Nah,
money
at
back.
all. At all.
And so it's the same way with investments. If you put your money with a company that is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, because there is an
Mm-hmm.
underlying asset, the SEC will help you get at least part of your money back. If
Okay.
not, nobody's going to protect you. Nobody's going to look out for you. Nobody's going to check if nobody's even going to answer you. I don't even think the
Mm.
EFCC will pay you much mind. The worst they can do is arrest the person and put the person in jail. As long as your money, I'm not sure they're obligated to give you your money back. So it's a situation whereby you need to think about it smart, be honest about it, and think about it from the perspective of who is regulating these guys, who is regulating them. And once you know the underlying asset, you know how it is invested, and you know who is regulating them, then, I mean, all the other issues they can explain to you, but those are the ones you must answer to yourself before you go to meet anybody.
Okay, before we get to the last two questions, somebody asked you a question that please can you talk about REITS? I don't know what that is.
So I saw the question, right? And I'm a bit because it's going to confuse a lot of people in the chat, because we're trying to reach out to people who are what's the word? People who are trying to invest for the very first time, right?
Yeah.
But if
Yes.
you reach out to me, then I could just give some one or two pointers about it. It's not very
Okay, so the
complex,
person
but
should
I
the
just
person
think it
should
is.
send you a message.
Yes, I just think it is way out of the league of what we are trying to converse.
Achieve.
Yes, because
Hmm.
it might just it's not very complex, but yeah, it's just like me
Like if
explaining.
you don't understand, you won't understand basically if you do not have
Exactly.
an
Just
idea.
because I mean it's an investment trust on real estate,
Mm-hmm.
and the way it is created. So, like I said, it's just like me explaining things like government securities and going into it. But
Mm-hmm.
you know that one of the things that it's an investment option. It's an investment portal. I'm not sure you can invest in it on your own. You have to probably go through an investment banker, but it is a viable option, and it is regulated. It is regulated, but of course, I mean, we can talk on camera about it better.
All right. So please, whoever asked that question, you know what to do. Reach out to him. His Instagram handle is at Tunji Andrews. You can send him a DM and ask him about the REITS. Okay. So are there factors one should consider before investing?
Where you are really, where you are is the most important place. Cause
When you say where you are, what do you mean?
um, so when you go into an investment house, you're going to speak to um, you're going to speak to a real estate a investment advisor. I'm trying not
Mm-hmm.
to use any complex terms. So you're going to speak to an
Yeah.
investment advisor, and the investment advisor is going to basically profile you. And what I mean by profiling you is, where are you in life? Are you single? Because a single person's needs are different, completely different from a married person's needs. And this is not
Yeah.
any discrimination. It's just a single person could just not share their meal with anybody and just eat alone and go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
They can live with their parents, or they could,
Yeah.
share an apartment with a friend. They could squat with somebody. But as a married person, you're most likely thinking about your family. You're thinking about, rent. If you have children, you're thinking about kids and paying school fees.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, again, the younger you are, the more risk you can take. Because if you are 25 and you lose all your investments, there's still enough time to save and invest again. But
Yeah.
if you're 70 and you lose your investments, then you're done. So basically, it's around the concept of profiling you to know what kind of investments are best for you.
Okay.
So when I say it depends on where you are, is what age are you? What kind of commitments do you have as a person? Um,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of obligations do you have? What kind of
Yeah.
bills do you have? And it's all those bills that will help the investment advisor help to tell if you should go for the more riskier investments or you should go for the safe ones that give you not so much money. Because the thing about investments is the higher the risk, the higher the return. So if it is
Yeah.
very risky, you make a lot of money, but you can lose all your money also. But the
Mm-hmm.
lower risk options don't give you a lot of money. So it's always a case of which one do you want to put your money into. And like I said, it depends on where you are.
Okay. All right. Final question. What advice would you give low-income earners who plan on investing at some point in their lives?
Earn more money. Earn more money. I can't lie to you. I know how frustrating trying to be ambitious, trying to be um, ideological, trying to
Mm-hmm.
hope or dream to invest. If you don't have money, you're not going to go anywhere. if you're not earning enough, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to spend all that money on taking care of yourself. You're going to find joy in the fact that you saved up to 100,000, then you find out that you need to pay rent, and then you now go and liquidate the entire money and use it to pay rent, and then you just keep getting that cycle, and then you just keep getting yourself upset. So what I and even the rich people know that the whole idea about investment is you have to use your spare income. You have to use your spare income. After you've budgeted and you know that this is the amount that can sustain me for this month, then you take a little aside and you put some in savings, and you take some and then you can invest that money, because your life has to continue go. Even thinking about the right kind of investment needs a sound mind. You can't do it under a lot of pressure, because that's when you start thinking, should I just quickly put inside MMM, quickly to, give me this return. I won't do it twice. I'll just do it only once. That is, you now start thinking irrationally because you're under pressure. So if I'm going to be honest with you, the first thing is earn more income. Do whatever you can to earn more income, and then you can put some money aside and invest.
All right. Thank you so much for taking out time to do this, even though we started late. My name is wanted to embarrass me today, but but thank you so much. Thank you very much, and hope we can call on you again sometime when we need more advice as time progresses, because with the way things are now, I know I've listened to one of your interviews, and you were like, look, the world isn't changing anymore. Things are not going back to normal. Everything has changed. So you have to go with the change, and you have to be smart about it. So I know that a lot of people will want to, apart from investing, some people want to do certain things. Maybe they want to open businesses and they don't know how to go about it, or they don't have that much money that they feel like they need. Some people say also that, getting loans these days is another issue. So maybe sometime in the future, when things are upside down, we'll call on you to give us more insights. All
Awesome.
right. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. Thank you for taking out the time.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Have a good night.
Good
All
night.
right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. It was short, but it was also insightful. Thank you so much. I'm very stressed because network wanted to embarrass me today again. Guys, I'm tired of Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. To everyone, both my followers and Tunji Andrews followers, it was nice to meet everyone. We do this again next week, Sunday. Please look out for it. And if you haven't caught up to any of the previous episodes, you can check the link in my bio. It leads to my YouTube channel. The other episodes that I have done before today are there. You can catch up. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Have a great night, everybody, and have a great week. Super Prince, you're in trouble. Me, I should jackpot. Don't worry. Yeah, because you're in the abroad, Abby. Don't think lightning cannot strike you where you are. Let me just tell you now. Don't let me lose my home training. Good night, everybody. Have a great week, okay? Bye.